Okay, my name is Frank LaRue, and I'm the Special Rapporteur for Freedom of Expression of the Human Rights Council of the United Nations. And I would like to send this message of support to the people of Japan, to the Japan Bar Association, to the human rights organizations, and all the individuals who have been working for transparency and against secrecy and for access to public information in Japan, which I think is essential. I always tell everyone that freedom of expression is a right we exercise in two directions. First, it is the right to have access to information of any type, whether it be scientific, cultural, investigative, or especially public information. And in second level, it is the right to disseminate and impart ideas and information to all through any means possible. But access to information and freedom of expression have something in between, which is the right to freedom of opinion and freedom of thought. We build our thinking and we build our mind and our opinions with the access to information. And this is what we use to disseminate positions. So this is why the access to information is so important. Because in reality, with access to information is how we will build sort of the possibility of making informed decisions at any given time. Access to information for me is a crucial element, for instance, of citizenship, of participation of citizens, of democracy. And this is valid for transparency, to combat corruption, but it's also valid just for knowing what are the policies. When people talk about public information and access to information, people normally think of financial information, the budget. This is true, but it's not only that. It is also access to information on the way that decisions are being made, political decisions, or how a public policy is established. Why was established? Who made the decision? Is there an evaluation period or process or not? All these are elements that in any democratic society, the people have the right to know, and this is what we are defending. This is why secrecy laws are in a way weakening democracy. Secrecy should be a tradition of the past. Before, secrecy was supposedly to protect those in power, because power came from God to the emperor and from the emperor to the people. And no one had the right to question or to ask. And this is the same way it was in Japan as it was in Europe with the kings and anywhere else. But when you build a democratic system, it's the other way around. Authority comes from the people who delegate it to their elected officials. And authority means trust. People have to trust their elected officials or appointed officials. And the trust means transparency. People have the right to know what is being done, who made the decision, why those decisions were made. And this is why secrecy has no place anymore. Of course, there are exceptions. There are exceptions to protect other individuals' rights, yes, or there are exceptions for national security in some particular moments, or there are exceptions for the period of investigation of a criminal case. But those are just for a certain brief period of time. But the general norm should be the openness in which anyone should be able to access information, especially the journalist. Because journalists can have investigative journalism and transfer this in an organized way to the broad public. So here's where I think that we have to recognize that public information is a common good. It belongs to the people. It doesn't belong to anyone that can put it in his pocket and hide it. And this is where we insist secrecy goes against the people, the interest of the people, and secrecy goes against democracy. It's anti-democratic by essence. So when we're building democracy, we want to build in that democracy all the access to information laws that may have some exceptions, but the least possible exceptions. And those exceptions have to go by the rule of three. They have to be established by law, prior law. They have to be necessary to prevent a harm or another violation of human rights. And they have to be proportional and for a certain period of time, just for the protection of that right. Otherwise, blanket prohibitions or blanket secrecy is again a violation of this right to access information. This has been kept not only by the doctrine of the UN Human Rights Committee and its decisions, but also by regional courts like the European Court of Human Rights or the Inter-American Court of Human Rights in the Inter-American system. So it's very clearly defined. This is why I really congratulate the work that you are all doing in Japan to eradicate secrecy and to maintain access to information and to reach absolute transparency, because I think you're doing the future of your country a favor. Only the people that can have full access, that know how things happen and why, will be the people that can fully participate as citizens and can truly build a democratic system in the future. Congratulations.